Hey there, it is Wednesday, February 21st. The time is 4:13 p.m. and the temperature is a rather nice 9 degrees Celsius. Or at least for this time of year, it's kind of nice. And just behind me is Cloverdale Mall, and I just finished recording a video through that mall. And by the time you see this on the channel, that video should be uploaded. And this is the city's very west end in Etobicoke, and just in front of me is the East Mall. And I'm gonna head south down to Dundas Street West, and from there I'll walk east over to the most eastern entrance of Kipling subway station. Back in the early 2000s, I got my first job out of university at an office just north of here. That office complex has since been demolished. Let's try to cross the street here. Well, the light was going to change, but there were no cars or pedestrians, so it didn't. Oh well. And the shopping mall behind me is slated to be redeveloped into a large-scale residential development. Well, mostly residential. All right, it looks like the light is about to change. This is definitely a very car-centric part of town. And that Yellow Cup Cafe has been there for as long as I can remember. There's a Ukrainian credit union. But I always came to this plaza for the Scruffy Murphys. We'd often go for after-work drinks there. They're building what looks to be a sales center for the redevelopment of the mall. And I believe officially this neighborhood goes by the name Islington City Center West. And this is the East Mall, which runs north-south, flanking east side of Highway 427. Over on the west side is a street called the West Mall. And this branch of it here is East Mall Crescent. There's a standalone beer store. And there's a shut down and abandoned shopping mall coming up. We'll walk alongside that. That's the old Honeydale Mall. It's quite close to Cloverdale Mall. And Sherway Gardens, a major mall. It's about 5 minutes driving off in that direction. I've only ever recorded this stretch on the channel once before on a live stream. Looks like typical suburbia. Street grid not fully integrated with the surrounding roads. No commercial, big wide open lots. And there's the Metro Distribution Center for the GTA. That's a large supermarket chain. And they've got a location in Cloverdale Mall. And right there is Food Basics. That's kind of their value or lower cost brand. It's an interesting base on that building. And we have made it to Dundas Street West. The Rockpile Bar and Nightclub. I have never been there. I can't imagine it's still operating. It's hard to tell. The sign looks rather dilapidated. And this is walking east on the south side of Dundas Street West. Number of people waiting for the bus, probably to take them over to Kipling subway station. This is mostly a former industrial and commercial area on the right. There's a Tesla dealership. There's the former Honeydale Mall on the right. You can zoom in there a bit. That opened back in 1973, and its anchor tenant was a Woolco, which is kind of like the Kmart. And Walmart took that spot over. It was located right there. It's pretty easy to tell where the Walmart used to be. But they pulled out in 2004 and moved down the street to where Sherway Mall is, just across the street. And that pretty much spelled the demise of this mall. There was a no-frills supermarket on the other end, and that closed soon after the Walmart left. And the entire mall just kind of closed up. And the developer had plans for the owner of the property to get this rezoned and developed into residential lands. And they were also hoping that they'd be able to sell part of it to the city to use as a western extension of Line 2 for the subway. That never came to be. despite a pretty large building boom in the area. You can see all those condos up ahead, as well as what's happening on the East Mall. This land has been mostly vacant. It's just used for tractor trailer storage over there. I should have looked up if anyone had done one of those abandoned videos on this mall on YouTube. I know that's a popular category of video. This mall was similar in layout and concept to Bayview Village Mall, and that's the mall that reinvented itself as a more high-end boutique mall. They didn't really reinvest into this one, they just let it wither away and die. But there's a security car there. I can't imagine this parcel of land will be vacant too much longer. Although it's just far enough from Kipling subway station, there's definitely more desirable plots of land between here and there. And that cluster of condos straight ahead took out one of my favorite places in this end of the city. There was a Bolorama there. And it was around 2016. I think that it was closed down to make way for that condo. And similarly, up in North York, another Bolorama was shut down to make way for a condo development just north of Yonge and Finch. One Hyundai driver honks at another. I know they're actively redeveloping this area, but it's hard not to notice it feels a little bit bleak. There's plans for a 21-story condo here with 5 townhome units. This is Shorncliffe Road, so just to the south of here is the Gardner Expressway. There's also a rail corridor. And where that Swiss Chalet is, I think once upon a time used to be a Harvey's. That bus is heading down to the Long Branch neighborhood. There's Swiss Chalet. Actually, I think the Harveys may have been in this building. Might have to jump on Google Street View and turn back time. You can see how much of the area just south of here is just industrial use. It's a big cannabis retailer. There also used to be a Dairy Queen straight ahead. I remember that. Sometimes after going to the Bolorama, I'd go in there. But the Dairy Queen appears to be no more. That whole plaza looks like it's getting demolished for Aspen. I think it's pretty obvious that used to be a KFC. So most of these condos and high-rises you see were not here 10 years ago. There was only a couple of them. There was an effort to redevelop this area and turn the area around Kipling Station into more of a hub. They built a big new bus terminal there to service the Mississauga Transit. It also services GO Transit and connects to the subway. There's a number of Toronto bus lines as well. And they reconfigured what was known as the old Spaghetti Junction, a jumbled up mess of on and off ramps as Bloor, Dundas, and Kipling Avenue intersected. That is further up ahead. And here's where Bolorama used to be. I guess your best option for bowling in this area is Planet Bowl, which is well to the north of here, up near Centennial. Canada Med Laser. I never noticed that. Emmett's, collectibles, trading cards, and more across the street. It's a toy store as well. It's neat to see a business like that still around. There's a BK across the street, although if you're craving a burger in this area, I'd recommend checking out Apache Burger, which we'll be walking by pretty soon. I don't know, these retail spaces don't really do it for me on these new condos. I don't see this area attracting the kind of pedestrian activity that they're probably hoping it would. There are protected bike lanes that pop up just east of here. Here's the home of a radio station, Z1035. Avanov Communications, also Hot Country 93 92.9, Energy 106, CKJS 92.7, 106.7. I have no idea what any of those are. There's plans for a 55-story tower. What's going on there right there? This is the aptly named subway crescent. You can head down to Kipling Station by making a right here. Well, that'll take you to the My Way bus terminal at least. We'll still have a bit of a walk to get to the subway. There's a Mississauga bus. And that is the western terminus of Line 2. It's Jabba Joe's. I guess Mocha Joe's was taken. I'm pretty sure once upon a time there used to be a Starbucks right here. I remember coming out this way and meeting someone I was selling something off the internet from and going to a Starbucks right here. You get a pretty neat view into the TTC bus terminals from here. And you can see the financial district skyline looming behind that. There's Mimico straight ahead. And there's the bus terminal. It's also where you'd grab a GO train. There's an underground tunnel that connects that over to the Toronto Transit portion of the station. I did a video walking through there last week, actually. You can find on the on the channel. I almost said station. There's a Wendy's and a Tim's. Actually, I think it was here where the Starbucks was. Where that building that says Kipling Station Condos is. That looks a lot more familiar and Starbucks-like. There's a Starbucks right across the street, though. I'm positive that's what used to be the Starbucks. There's the Dundas Street Grill and the Apache Burger. Oops, thought I had my camera on zoom. It's a 50s style hamburger joint that opened back in 1969. They serve up old school style patties. There's a Farm Boy supermarket right here. You'll see 900 airport buses come up here and turning left. It's just 15 minutes in good traffic to the airport from Kipling. It's one of the most affordable ways to get to the airport, if not the most affordable way. But it's also probably the least reliable way. I remember when I was going on my trip and I had a flight to Korea to catch in April of last year. And I was about to take transit. I thought, nah, I'll be lazy and order a Lyft. As we get another view of the legendary Apache Burger. And while I was in the Lyft, the guy had the radio on. He said that the Line 2 subway at, I think around Ossington Station, had a problem and they had to shut the whole line down. And there were no shuttle buses yet deployed and I easily would have missed my flight. Or at the very least been very stressed trying to get there on time had I have relied on the old TTC. There's a big plaza and as you can see, a protected bike lane has emerged. I think our dumbass of a premier is very much opposed to these bike lanes. Yes, why would you need to keep vulnerable road users safe from traffic? It's illegal here to ride on the sidewalk if you're over 14. This whole area up ahead has been quite drastically reconfigured. This is Kipling Avenue. This is an area dubbed 6 Points due to the intersection of Dundas Street here, Bloor Street, which is just to the north of it, and Kipling. Bloor and Dundas were elevated, and they had on and off ramps connecting to Kipling, and it was not safe as a pedestrian, and it was very confusing for drivers, and it rendered much of this land completely unusable. And a plan was put in place to reconfigure the entire area and eliminate the Spaghetti Junction. Now you can see there's development taking place. I think the old Westwood movie theater used to sit just over there. That is where I saw the Michael Keaton Batman. Whoops. What's interesting is this is where Dundas Street bends north just a few blocks in that direction. It bends north of Bloor, and then it runs north of Bloor, parallel to Bloor though, all the way through the Junction neighborhood. and towards Roncesvalles as it dips south back towards the junction. Hey, there's a subway train rolling in. And this here on the right is 6 Points Park. Private roadway, local access only. Normally that's the case before the condos have fully opened. But if they're open, this should be public. Unless maybe that was part of the plans and the condo owners are footing the bill. Well, my camera just went all crazy there. But they're footing the bill for the maintenance costs of that private road. There is a large parking lot just south of here that leads into Kipling Station. There's my destination. This is the most eastern entrance to the station. There's looking towards the open air subway platforms. And we're going to catch a train rolling by. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this walk around Islington West City Center. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below the video if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do next. I might just live stream and start walking east along Bloor Street. But that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.